Hey everybody, welcome to Hitched to Reality. I'm John.
And I'm Kat.
And in today's episode, we are going to be discussing Season 6, Episode 6 of 90 Day Fiancé, The Other Way. Let's get cracking.
So we start off with Sarper and Shekinah.
Gross.
And they are in a furniture store because apparently she's been asking for a vanity for months, even though she seems like she's only been there for like days.
Well, but she's been living over in Turkey for a long time.
Yeah. So she's wanting to confront him after the coffee date with his ex-girlfriend. And I don't know. I don't really have much to say about that.
He's very obviously trying to buy his way out of whatever trouble he's in.
Yeah.
Like, why don't you meet me at a furniture store?
But the trouble to me seems, as usual, fairly manufactured because now all of a sudden she's all upset that he has a history.
Yeah, I mean, there's something to be said about telling a woman that you're the only woman I've ever said I love you to.
But we know he's a liar. He's like a pathological liar.
Right, but when you're in that relationship, it's hard to see
I don't believe
the
that
outside.
she doesn't see it. I just don't. I don't buy what.
Well, yeah, no, they're both fake ass hoes,
Yeah.
and you know.
Okay, so I would like to move on from them.
Gross.
Yeah. Okay, so let's see. We go then to James and Tata, and he is landed in Indonesia, and they talk about how they're going to have a hotel room for the first 2 nights, which is... Well, I think that's probably a good idea.
Oh, definitely. Get all that. Get the juices flowing, rip the Band-Aid off.
Yeah, give yourself like a second to settle down. Plus, I don't know, me personally, I would feel like traveling to Indonesia would probably like wear me out, and I would want to have like a really good night's sleep.
Yeah.
Without like even more energy drained from me, like meeting people I've never met before in a language I don't know how to speak.
Well, he's met her parents before, but that was like 5 years ago.
Yeah, not seen them since.
Right, and 100%, like you want to make another good impression, it would be best.
Yeah, it would be hard for me to make a good impression after. Didn't he say he was traveling for like 24 hours?
Yeah, he took like 4 planes and a train.
Right, and
like,
a bus. And then that little...
No.
The little
pedicab thing.
Yeah, so.
No, I would definitely need a nap and a shower.
Nap and a shower, exactly.
Yeah.
So good for them. But then we go to her house.
Just gigantic.
Yeah, they call it the Indonesian White House, and it's huge. So I guess because last episode we were talking about how like, oh my God, like they're planning on living with the parents. How big could the house possibly be? Like, I literally think we said, how big could the house possibly be?
Because there's like 7 people living there.
Yeah, so we were like, they're not even going to have a bedroom. Like, not only do they have a bedroom, they have, like, a whole big thing.
They have a whole room dedicated.
Yeah, so apparently the banana chip factory is working for them.
Yeah, well, and I'm guessing that the building codes in Indonesia are much different.
Right, you can probably add on to your house as long as you've got the plywood to do it.
Yeah. Well, like I was looking at some of their stairs were like concrete stairs that looked like they were done like fine, but like not by like a mason. You know, I don't know that you're supposed to put concrete stairs in your house. Maybe I'm getting a little too inside baseball, but like it just looked. I mean, and they said like he
like
did it himself.
Homegrown, yeah.
Yeah, which is, I mean, as long as it doesn't fall down, good on you, man.
Right,
you know?
right. And we also, the other thing that we see is Tata's dad giving James kind of a hard time about not having learned the language at all. And he was like, oh, it means he's really holding on to those promises I made. And we all...
By the way, I don't want to have kids.
Yeah, we know that that's not going to go well,
No.
but...
When he's worried about how it's going to go over with her parents.
Yeah, right.
And like
Very
not
good
even
point.
concerned about how it's going to go over with her.
Like that could lead to a divorce, and he's more worried about upsetting the parents.
I wonder if they've had conversations about
Off-camera
kids.
conversations.
And maybe it's not to the level of, maybe Tata is more aware.
Well, you know what? I hope that they've had off-camera conversations because the first time I'm hearing, oh, my husband doesn't want to have kids, I don't want that to be filmed for national TV. I don't want to have whatever reaction I'm going to have.
But I mean, it is mind-boggling that people would wait to be married to have that conversation in the first place.
Yeah, it's like on the scale. Have it when you're dating is the best choice. Have it after you're married, the next best choice. Having the conversation on camera with like a crew there is like the worst choice. So
in front of your wife's parents, who are big proponents of you having children.
Right,
so it's like
pushers.
you're disappointing everybody in the room
right.
with a huge audience.
Yeah, like
not ideal.
A super huge audience.
Yeah.
Not just a huge audience of the family, but like a huge audience.
Right, that's what I mean. TV. Yeah.
Not good.
Not good.
Okay, and then we get the shortest scene ever with Statler and Dempsey. And Statler basically says that she has been panicking the whole flight. So I guess we needed that super short, like, setup scene to explain her reaction upon landing. I literally cannot.
It's a reaction
Yeah.
that we have not seen before.
Yeah. Woo!
Woo!
If we're gonna hand out trophies at the end of this.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, they're definitely gonna get a trophy.
Yeah.
And then we go to Josh and Lily and they play badminton together. How cute was that?
That was pretty cute.
Oh, I just like I thought it was nice that she was like these are my friends. I play badminton, and like the friends were very nice to him, and they're all high-fiving over the net. I thought that was like a 10 out of 10 cute.
Yeah.
And then after badminton,
Yeah.
they go and they have a conversation about how apparently in the past, like before they were together, he was like, oh, let me video chat with your friends. I want to see what they look like, basically. That was a little weird.
Well, I can understand, and I'm not condoning, I can understand having a wife living overseas saying that she's going to go play badminton with some friends that are men.
But what does what they look like visually matter? I mean, you trust your wife.
Well, it seems like more, I mean, maybe he just wanted to meet them. I don't know, because sometimes even just putting a face to the name helps. I just think it was also odd that she said no. Because it's like easy to just say, yeah, sure, here's Wingo and Dingo, you know?
Yeah, I guess, I don't know,
Because sorry, I don't mean to interrupt, but it's like, I just want to get my thought out. It's like not condoning, like, he is being unreasonable. I think, like, you need to be able to trust your partner.
Yeah.
And I can't imagine that she's given that many. She doesn't seem like she's building a friggin' house for
Right.
you two to live
Right.
in. I don't think
Right,
she'd be
right,
doing
exactly.
that and cheating on you. So I don't see any red flags of her being shady or being unfaithful. So it's like you need to have a little bit of faith in her.
That's what I'm saying. So don't
Yeah.
ask to video chat. But how do you say to your friends, like, oh, I'm just going to FaceTime my husband real quick and show you on the camera because he doesn't trust me? Like, how do you have that conversation? Because we always talk about, like, not talking shit about your partner to your friends and family. So, like, how do you have that conversation without simultaneously talking shit?
Well, you could. You want to? I'll show you.
Okay,
You
so
could-
do it.
My husband would really like to meet you guys. Would you mind if I just introduced you on FaceTime? Done. Problem solved. But that's like 90%, not 90%, maybe 50% of these problems can just be solved with like communication.
I guess because I don't think it's a reasonable request, I would have trouble doing it without the shade.
I can understand that completely.
Yeah.
I know you very well. Catherine needs to, anyway. But they do seem like a nice couple, but it does seem like under the surface there are some
Right, because
problems.
the other thing that they talk about is he's like, oh, you used to like leave my messages on red for hours, but it's like she's working, she has a job.
Well, it's also crazy different time zones, right?
Yeah,
Like, wouldn't
probably.
she be sleeping when, isn't it like 12-hour difference? I don't know.
Well, so she wakes up enough to read the message, but then if it's like not urgent, she doesn't reply to it. If that's something that you're getting upset over, I don't know.
But again, like, you know, is it jumping right to like, you don't love me, you leave her.
Right. That's what I'm saying. I feel like he's being a little bit unreasonable.
Right. Because there's been times in the past where you have told me, like, I don't love it when you give me like a one-word answer.
Totally.
So maybe you could if you don't have time to respond right now, just don't respond and
respond.
hit me later. Yeah.
Respond when you've got more to say than
Right. Well, and you used to work at Whole Foods, and you would be gone for 8 hours at a time, and you couldn't look at your phone.
Can't even keep my phone with me.
Yeah.
Right.
So I think you gotta.
Yeah. So maybe I'm like extra sympathetic to that because I've worked in industries where I like literally can't even have my phone with me. Okay. So we go back to Sarper and Shekinah. The furniture store closed, so they go back home to finish their argument. I don't really want to talk about them. Because we have to, because we're podcasting about this, but I don't know. Do you have anything to say about them?
Do you have notes from what they talked about? I don't really.
I wrote down, back home, she doesn't believe that he has changed. And she said, did you say I love you? And then you said, me too? And then she says she will leave him for good if she finds out that he's lying. That's what I wrote down. So, go ahead.
Which is not true. Yeah, she's going to stay with him. I mean, and like she even said at the end, like, I feel like I'm just giving him one more chance. I'm choosing to believe my, whatever, like, boyfriend. They're not engaged or anything, right? I don't remember.
No, I don't think they are engaged. So why are they on the show? They're just dating. This isn't 90 Day dating the other way.
Well, it is interesting because everybody, I guess it's only James and Tata, Josh and Lily are already married. The other ones are not.
Are Statler and Dempsey dating or engaged?
I think they're just dating. Because at the end of their last season, that was, remember she was like, all right, next step is, you love me, now we move in together. Mm-hmm. So I don't think there's even a ring.
Yeah.
And then...
and the Corona and Inky are also not
close.
engaged.
Yeah. So there's...
All right, so I guess I can't throw shade about that particular thing, but...
Yeah, well, they've been living together over there. It's just, it's... He is a dog. She... I don't know if it's like one of those things where...
Just wants to be famous, like wants to be on the show.
Sure. Or I was going to say like, because there's a lot of... You hear the trope about like, oh, I can change him.
Yeah.
Or he's changed for me. Maybe it is that second one, like he's changed for me, which I guess, you can see like maybe the appeal of like having the bad boy who's just like this ladies' man who's just got a prolific history of betting all these women, and he's finally chosen you. He could have anybody he wants, and he chose you, and he only loves me. I can see the appeal there. Especially from two fake-ass people.
Yeah.
But yeah, and like she even acknowledged at the end, like, I feel like I've given them a million chances. And it's like, you probably have.
Oh, way too many chances.
And you should probably stop.
Yeah. Okay, so then we go back to James and Tata. They have spent the night in the hotel. He's like, oh, she was annoying me all night.
Yeah.
So, whatever to that. They seem...
Whatever to that.
They seem to have a very happy and healthy sex life.
Yeah.
We get a little tour of the bidet and the handheld aspect of it. We learned that toilet paper is like a luxury item in Indonesia.
Handheld aspect of it. Ass. Sorry.
Okay. Have you ever used a bidet?
I have not.
No, I haven't either.
I've thought about it though.
You've been in a place where there was an option for
No,
one?
I've thought about how that might be nice. I could see the appeal.
Yeah.
Is that all we're gonna say on that? Just yeah.
Yeah.
I've never seen like the handheld one. That seems, because the ones that I've always seen are like in the bowl.
Right.
Like not, because it seems like
pre-angled.
Yeah, because if you're like, are you gonna wash the bidet after?
Well, you're not gonna stick it up in there.
I know that, but it's like you're gonna get flakes on it and stuff, right? I mean, listen, if you like a pressure washer,
Is it like a that firm of a squirt?
I've never heard a squirt described as firm. A nice firm squirt.
But anyway. Okay, my bigger concern with it though is she's splashing water all over the floor. So like you said, that's
butt water.
And etc. water. So, well, especially because that's in a hotel, and they showed the shot, like, around the toilet, and the toilet had all, like, mildew yuckiness around it, and I'm like, that's other people's butt water.
Yeah, just everywhere.
Splashing around in it.
But I mean, I think, and I don't know, but I've seen from, like, movies and TV shows that, like, is Indonesia an Asian? Technically an Asian country?
It for you, but...
Like, I know, like, in China and Japan, sometimes their bathrooms are, like they don't have a shower.
Yeah, it's just
separate.
like a hole in the ground.
Well, like a drain.
Right.
I mean, just a drain in the middle of the floor, and you sort of...
Like a wet room, I think they call it.
Yeah. And so I wonder if it's a similar type of thing. Yeah. Because who knows?
Right.
But yeah, I mean, clean up after yourself, I think.
Yeah, they should put like a squeegee in there or something.
Right. Yeah, because I don't want to be stepping in your butt water, and he stepped in it with his socks, and I was like, typical white guy move, like wearing socks.
Yeah. Yeah, they need like shower flip-flops just in there.
Or just, bare, I guess the rule is like bare feet in the bathroom, I guess. But then you're just dragging butt water all over the place. You got to clean up after yourself.
Yeah, right. They need a squeegee for sure. Okay, and then so we talk about how Dad wants to show him the banana chip factory, and they're gonna learn how to make banana chips, and then we go into a whole thing about how much income he thinks he needs to make because of the car. So let me just run through the numbers so that we can like dissect them, because I like dissecting numbers. Okay, so his goal was to save up $10,000.
Which he said would last them 2 years.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Maybe we should move to Indonesia.
No.
Okay. So he's going to try to save up $10,000. Then they get hit with an $8,000 car repair bill, and they still have a $700 a month car payment. And he said that he tried to sell the car, but nobody was buying. Should have taken the car to wherever Statler took her car, because that guy was
ready to buy. Yeah.
But we also, like we talked about in that episode, we just sold a used car, and it was like the easiest thing we've ever done. Like, listed it immediately, 10,000 people were interested. That same night someone was there, we had the money, cash in hand, gone, car gone. So like...
That guy they were trying to haggle us so bad.
Yeah, we didn't. We didn't go down one single penny.
No.
And it's like...
What about this scratch? What about that scratch? The tires. And it's just like...
only have one key fob. Well, you only need one to drive the car, man. So, but...
let me step in real quick. So, he lives in Maine.
Yeah.
So, there is a possibility that because we are close to New York, we're in a much more populated area, that the used car market is way better than up in Maine. But there was like...
Where is Statler when she's in the United States?
She is in Texas, I think. Pretty sure she's in Texas.
Okay.
Which, again, heavily populated.
Some parts of Texas.
Just go with it.
Well, you're trying to give him the benefit of the doubt. Yeah. You're trying to rip it away.
Well, no, I'm just trying to play devil's advocate here, because I agree with you where it's like, in today's market, or whenever they filmed it, I mean, it must have been within the past 2 years, and there's still like a crazy used car market. So it's like, if you really wanted to sell that car,
it would have been sold.
You would have sold it.
Right.
And like, so granted, but also like an $8,000 repair.
Yeah.
That's like a new engine. That's like a lot. $8,000 is the most that I think we have ever spent on a repair. Was like $1,700,
which is a lot.
But we had the guy did a lot of stuff, and it was also like a trailer, so there was a ton of stuff involved. $8,000 is like a whole exhaust system. Oh, because that, even on the biggest vehicle that we've ever had, we got a quote for replacing the whole exhaust system, and that was $5,000.
Right.
And that was with all new parts and labor and all that. So like $8,000 is a huge thing. And it's like, if you're looking at moving to Indonesia and you're trying to save up all this money, even if you had to take an Uber, like even if you just said, all right, well, we're not paying $8,000 insurance, total this thing out.
Yeah.
or even not, and you just sell it. You know, there's bound to be somebody out there who's like, you know, take it as is. But even if you're going to lose some money on the car,
right,
to not have a $700,
yeah.
that's so much money.
Well, and what kind of car was it? That's a seven. I mean, that's like more than like a $35,000 pickup truck. You know?
Oh yeah. Well, I don't know that $35,000 pickup trucks even exist anymore.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
I haven't had to buy a car in a minute. But I bought the last time I bought a car with debt, my car payment was $500 a month, but it was a brand new Chevy Colorado, like no miles on it. Bought it from the dealership, so like
That was like 8 years.
And that was 8 years ago. So I guess if he bought like a brand new
car, yeah,
pretty expensive car.
But then what brand new car would need an $8,000 repair?
Yeah, that was not covered by like the warranty or something like that. So I have questions.
You don't say.
As usual, I have questions. I just don't. And like, okay, so my theory, my working theory is they're not really planning on moving to Indonesia, right? Like they lied on the application. They wanted to get on to one season of 90 Day Fiancé. I think they lied on the application, and now they're like trying to pretend like they're moving to Indonesia. So I believe that they were never planning on doing this move, so that's why they bought a brand new car. Because if you were really honestly and truly planning on moving to Indonesia and you needed a new car, like say your old car broke down, it died, it doesn't work anymore, you buy a $3,000 clunker that's gonna barely get you where you need to go for the next 6 months until you move. Am I right?
Yeah, and I would think that being an elevator mechanic, though it is not the same as being a car mechanic, would give you enough skill that you should be able to fix some. So you would,
clunker
I
to
would
get
think
it rolling.
Right.
Yeah.
As long as there's not, because I mean, listen, who am I? But
Yeah.
I have done some mechanical things here and
Right.
there, and I know nothing. I'm
Right.
a freaking graphic designer for most of my life, but so that's interesting. That's a hot take, by the way.
Is it?
Yeah, well, because I don't think it seems to me that Tata is genuine and she wanted to move back. If anything, I would say that James really doesn't want to move.
So maybe what they should do, if I'm gonna organize their life, maybe they should plan on splitting their time.
Yeah, I mean, especially like if you're working for your parents.
Yeah,
It may
exactly.
be easier to have, because I
Like
wonder.
if elevator repair has kind of like a busy season.
Exactly what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
Which I don't know if it does, but
Well, I would think that more building construction happens when it's not the dead of winter in Maine.
that's true. Yeah, because Maine does have serious winters, so you
Right.
would think that.
So they could winter in Indonesia without their $700 a month car payment.
Right.
And then come back and work and, save up money for 9 months, then do 3 months back in Indonesia.
Yeah, I mean that would be a good plan, because then you could probably just make enough money that you can survive in Indonesia without having to have a job.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
I mean, if $10,000 was going to last them 2 years,
Well, especially like if you're
they'd
gonna,
only need to save up like $1,000.
right, especially if you're gonna live with her parents,
Right.
And you know
For 3 months.
Well, so they were talking about how like they're not going to get paid at the banana chip factory.
It is a factory. We've been there.
It's not a fact. It's in their
They
house.
have commercial ovens.
It's in their house. It's not a factory if it's in your house. I think that's fair.
We're going to agree to disagree.
No. We are not going to agree to disagree. I need you to be with me on this. It cannot be a factory if it is in your house.
Okay.
When Catherine fake agrees with me, it's like the least satisfying fake agrees. Okay. But anyway, so I guess I was seeing this as more just exemplative of their horrendous decision making. So like deciding not to tell your parents, James,
Until the day before they leave.
or a week before
Yeah.
you leave. Deciding not to tell her parents.
Until
planning.
after they've arrived.
Yeah.
She's been there for 5
5
weeks. Yeah, it's crazy.
So to me, like that looks like bad decision making. And I mean, it's easy for me to. I'm an almost 38-year-old guy.
But when we make a decision, we make it.
Yeah, and I mean, we've been making decisions for 8 years now. So
Yeah.
I don't know. It looks like bad decision making to me. I wouldn't go as far as
Yeah, it
saying,
looks like bad decision making to you, but to me it looks like they're lying.
Well,
Or they're trying to keep their options very, very open.
at least he is. I mean, she seemed fine to move there, but I also.
But it's like she's fine moving there in like the clouds, like theoretically, yeah, we'll just move here. But like as an adult, when you make decisions like that, you need to figure out the nuts and the bolts. And she's just like.
Well, so that's why I sort of wonder, because she is the youngest kid that they have, and she is their favorite.
She just has no capability for nuts and bolts.
They told her that they love her the most. And so it's just like, I think she may have just gotten everything she's ever wanted and sort of maybe lived in like this little fantasy land.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's sort of what it seems like. She's making like kid decisions. And even like in the preview for the next episode when she's crying, like I wonder if her crying like that is just like a defense mechanism
what she wants. Yeah, that's like a very immature response.
Right, because she's just crying so, and even with the dog.
Yeah,
to not understand like how like, because I can like if we were doing this and we had to leave Pepper.
I would not. I'm just saying.
So she would not. But in this fictional scenario where I had waited until the day you were leaving to tell you that Pepper was not coming with me.
Yeah.
You would cry.
Right.
But you would understand that it's like, listen, they could take Pepper out the second we land.
Right. And I think what I would be upset about was that you didn't figure out the nuts and bolts. Like,
ahead of time.
Right, exactly. Yeah. So, for her, fine, I'll allow that.
Well, and I'm just saying, I think she is just, it's not like she's emotional, it's just like she has like a child's level of emotional ability. Where it's like...
That's harsh.
Well, I guess that is kind of harsh, but I just, because I mean, it just seems like she...
It seems like she's kind of along for the ride.
Yeah. Just kind of going with, I mean, even like, you know, how are we going to make money over there? Well, maybe I'll see if my dad can actually pay us for the banana chip.
Right.
Or maybe we can sell it, make a commission. But like you said, nuts and bolts, how are they going to make money?
Yeah. And he said, like, well, how much money do we need to make a month? And she was just like, I don't know. It's like, you've been there for 5 weeks. Like, how much have you spent in those 5 weeks?
Right.
Because that could at least give you the idea of a budget.
But I wonder if she spent anything.
But she must have, like, a cell phone.
But maybe her parents get it.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, it seems like they would be happy to do that. And, I mean, listen, if she's staying there and she's working at the banana chip factory...
But she was selling the fruit ice.
In exchange for rent, I was going to say. So, like, if she's, you know, living with her parents and they don't pay her because it's like, okay, you want to live here? Fine. You know, I need you to work at the factory.
Is there health insurance in Indonesia?
I don't know. Probably.
I wonder if they kept... Well, they can't keep their American health insurance because I'm sure that was through the dad's company.
Maybe. I mean, who knows?
They must have expenses. But other a $700 car payment aside, that can't be their only expense.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
Because you have to keep full insurance on a car that has a payment, right? When you have a car payment, they make you keep full insurance on it. So they have to have insurance, too, for the car.
It just seems ridiculous. Why would you keep paying that? I don't get it. And then also, like, so even if this was all the case, and it was, like, your plan to have $10,000 in the bank, and then now you have none,
right?
Wouldn't the responsible decision be, like, let's hold off for... Although I guess he's already put in his notice at work. I mean, the timeline...
But he only put in his notice a week ago, so that's not like that $8,000 car repair bill came on day 6 of the 7-day
right. It must have already happened.
Period. Yeah, exactly. That's in the pasado.
And if you wait...
We speak Spanish, by the way.
Poorly.
No, we don't any.
And if you waited that long, then you might as well like not have told them and maybe just kept working.
Well, right, and he could have just gone on a vacation, like it seems like he did, because we didn't get any aspect of I'm getting rid of my apartment, I'm getting rid of all my stuff. We know he didn't get rid of his car. all he brought was 2 suitcases. So that's a long vacation he's planning on.
Right, because if you're leaving forever, why have a car payment on a car that's just sitting there? And also, if you're in Indonesia, it's going to be awfully hard to sell that car to someone in America.
Yeah. So, working theory is he's not planned and never planned on moving there.
Well, I think that's... I agree with that.
Yeah.
I don't agree with the fake.
The light on the application?
Yeah, I'm not with the light on the application part.
Who knows? Maybe we'll find out.
Maybe.
Because we do... okay, so we have one more thing and then we get into the preview for the next show. We meet a new couple in the preview for the next show, 6 episodes in.
Yeah.
So there could still be a lot coming because there's a whole new couple coming. That's my point.
Yeah, but it could also just be they didn't have enough of that new couple.
Yeah, I don't know. Or like, yeah, who knows? It's weird though. It's weird to be 6 episodes into a show and then introduce to us a new couple.
Yeah, although so we didn't get any Corona or Inky in this episode either. It's interesting.
Yeah.
Because they do this every once in a while where they introduce a couple late. I wonder if there was just, I don't know, if everybody breaks up at the end and it's just all like not.
No, nobody's breaking up. Well, maybe not nobody. But Josh and Lily aren't going to break up and James and Tata aren't going to break up.
We'll see.
We'll see. Okay, so last scene is Statler and Dempsey.
Woof.
Woof. So Statler comes out of the, the security checkpoint.
Oh, man.
They hug, they don't kiss. Dempsey is super cute, very excited to see her. Doesn't bring her flowers, though, but that's okay.
Yeah.
And Statler is just like...
She is a damp towel.
Yeah, super rotten attitude about just everything.
And I can understand that, but like I said when we were watching, it's like you gotta fake it for 5 minutes and then just be like, bro, I am exhausted.
Yeah.
I will be much better
I'm so happy
tomorrow.
to see you, but I need to take a nap more than I've ever needed to take a nap.
Right.
But she is the biggest sourpuss
Yeah.
I think we've ever seen.
Yeah. And I mean, she said to Dempsey, like, one of the reasons why you like me is that I'm real. I'm being real right now. And it's like, yeah, you're being a real asshole.
Yeah,
and
you sure are.
Because, like, again, like, I can understand, like, as if you're panicking the whole time over there, you probably didn't get any sleep.
Yeah.
And it's a long flight. It's not that long,
When I went
though.
to England, I took an overnight flight. So then I landed in the morning and I was expected to be chipper all day, but I didn't sleep at all on the plane. So I was very tired and probably equally crabby. But I was sort of being, I was on a family vacation, so it's not like I was going to see my, like, long separated love of my life, like all this stuff. I think I probably could have put on a braver face for at least 5 minutes.
Right. And then just said, like, listen. And I mean, even if you because I don't know if you can text on the plane.
No, well, you can't text on the plane, but I'm sure it took her time to go through customs. Plus, she said that they lost her bag, which was probably like the icing on the freaking cake. I've had my bag lost so many times. You have to like wait in a really long line and fill out a bunch of forms. So while she was doing all of that, she could have been texting her being like, my bag is lost. I'm very sorry, but I'm going to be in a ride mood.
Right. Some sort of heads up would be nice.
Right.
Yeah, but that was like one of the coldest.
Was it worse than the Colty and what's her name? What's
Larissa.
Her? Yeah, I think that's worse than the Colty and Larissa.
Oh yeah.
It was super bad. And Inky and Corona's greeting was bad too, but this was way worse.
Yeah, because that was sort of like nonchalant, like not
kind
a
of
big
friend
deal.
zone-y.
This was just like.
This was like
bad.
enemy zone-y.
And it's just like starting it off on like the absolute worst foot you possibly could.
Yeah. And so they always do the like standing side by side together in the airport, and Dempsey, like in those, is like, yeah, I'm a little, surprised that she's got such a bad attitude or whatever.
I wish she was more excited to see me.
Yeah. Super depressing. Like
one, they just like they lingered on them.
Yeah, the awkward
just
linger.
Standing there.
And it was like you could see them both thinking like, any more questions? But they were just like, no, we're just rolling here.
Oof, that was rough.
Yeah.
That was very rough.
And then they get into the cab and the discussion is awful. Just like, Dempsey's saying, oh, we got to go pick up the van, and Statler's like, meh. And she says, fuck off, and she's
Dempsey
like...
does, yeah.
Yeah, and Statler's like, what did you just say? She's like, I said fuck off.
Then, cool.
Yeah, it's just awful.
Which, I mean, and so, like, our rule, whenever there's any sort of words like that, it's always, you have to be 100% kidding.
Yeah.
Like, there can never, like, I would never tell you fuck off ever. In any sort of real capacity. Right. And I think that is a fantastic rule to have for anybody in a relationship.
Yeah.
Where it's like, only if you're 100% kidding, it can't be 99%, it can't be 98%.
Yeah.
Because it's just like, that's one of those things that's like, you say that, do you say that to like the love of your life? No, I don't think you do.
Yeah.
And yeah. And I mean, I understand where she's coming from, where she sort of is thinking like, oh, maybe not everything's all rosy. Like she was saying that, Dempsey was saying that Statler said that she would be excited when she got there.
Right.
That she's not excited now.
And how cute was she when she was saying that? When she was like, she said she'd be excited when she get here, so I'm just excited for her to get here. I feel...
Well, she was saying it was like the first time seeing her again.
Yeah.
Which is nice. She's such a little bubbly.
I know, she's so cute.
Yeah. So, it's sad that it went so far downhill.
Yeah. And so what do you think that she's gonna get her attitude together, that Statler's gonna like be able to rally, or do you think it's just gonna be like bad?
I don't know, and like we were talking, to me it would have seemed like a better alternative to like not go pick up the van right away, and it's like, let's get a hotel room for the night before we get the van. That would have seemed like the better option for me, rather like to plan that ahead, because then it's like Dempsey said, it's hard to like we've had this plan, so it's hard to change the plan, because they were going to go right to get the van, and then like they have all their stuff, but like Dempsey wasn't able to get the van ahead of time.
Yeah.
Because I mean that would have been something too, to like show up and like you have the van, you're ready to go.
Right, like hop right from the airplane into the van. It's like we're starting.
Because I mean then you could go somewhere, you could get something to eat and then go zonk out or whatever.
Yeah, that's true. Right, just go park it somewhere.
Yeah, and then you can take a nap and I'll go get a cup of coffee or whatever. Like it's hard for me, because like those transactions are never easy. Although I don't know if they're just accepting delivery of this van. I don't know what
transaction, buying a van.
If you're going to buy a car or something, but I guess that's all settled ahead of time. I don't really know. It just seems, if I were planning that, I would say, let's get a hotel so I can take a shower and take a nap. Just like we talked about with James and Tata.
And plus, I think I heard them say, did they say that they needed 2 cabs because all her stuff, including her bike? So like, if they had a hotel room, she could have had all her stuff in the hotel room already.
Right.
Because, check in at 11 o'clock in the morning or whatever. And then she could have gone and picked her up from the airport, straight to the hotel, nap, shower.
Chill out. Just
room service.
Enjoy each other's company for a while.
Yeah. Yeah, I think a snack and a nap and a shower would probably
go a long way.
Go a long way in helping her attitude.
Because even then, I can imagine if I were Statler, even just being able to go somewhere after that whole trip and like decompress a little bit and take a shower, like even just after that, you'd probably be in a better mood.
And though I can imagine Statler, if that was the plan, being like, well, I can't even take a shower because my suitcase is lost. Like... Yeah. Still having a fairly bad attitude about it. I do kind of think that, like, where her current mood is, there's probably no recovering from it, no matter.
That's probably true.
Yeah. Okay, so that was it for this episode. We get the preview. We meet a new couple.
Tatted up Irish guy.
Yeah, so see how that goes.
Yeah, well, and then we see Corona tell Inky that she's been soft partnering, which is a term that I hate.
Make up that term. I'm going to Google it.
It makes me uncomfortable just saying it's soft partnering.
Yeah.
And
it's very like therapy speak. So.
Well, and if you start popping off, I'll just try to make you laugh, which is...
Yeah, she's immediate. Well, John immediately was like, wrong, and then at the exact same time, Corona was like, no.
That's a mistake.
Yeah, so...
Well, I mean, like, if you're mad, Do you want me to just start cracking jokes? If you're mad at me.
I never get mad at John.
All right, so that's going to do it for this episode. Thank you guys for watching and listening. You can check us out on Instagram. There are posts on there. And you can also catch us wherever you get your podcasts or on YouTube at Hitched to Reality. Thank you guys for watching and listening. We'll see you next time.
Bye.